January 2026. A small team, a few motorcycles, and one incredible adventure. Starting from England, we set out on a journey across Europe and Africa. Thousands of kilometers, unknown roads, mountains, deserts, and endless horizons. Our destination, Bamako, Mali. But this journey was never just about the destination. It was about the road, the challenges, the people we met, and the adventure of a lifetime. This is the story of our ride from England to Bamako.
The adventure started in Birmingham.
Nem látom, itt filmezek, de ti vagytok rajta.
Jó utat!
Just 24 hours before departure, we found out the ferry from Southampton to Santander had been cancelled. Plans changed in an instant. So we rode south, cold and wet, on our Honda CRF 300 rally bikes. Rain poured down, wind howled, and every mile felt longer than the last. Our destination, the Eurotunnel. Soon we would be rolling our bikes onto the train, disappearing beneath the sea. The real journey hadn't even begun, but the first challenge was already behind us, getting this far.
After leaving the train in France, the real ride began. Long highways stretched ahead of us, rain, wind, and endless kilometres. The weather kept changing, heavy rain one moment, cold and snowy landscapes the next. Eventually, we reached Tangier, Morocco. That night, we stopped at the Hilton Resort, a short moment to rest before continuing the journey. The next day, the landscape changed again. Foggy mountains surrounded the road. And along the roadside we spotted wild monkeys watching us pass. Riding through the city was an adventure on its own. The potholes weren't potholes anymore. They looked more like small lakes. Honestly, a boat might have been more useful than a motorbike. But soon the road began to climb into the mountains and everything changed. Beautiful winding roads, fresh air and incredible views all around us. Not long after that, we reached the beginning of the off-road section, and that's where the real challenge started. Within minutes, Balázs had his first crash in the deep sand.
Jó, fel tudsz állni? Jó volt? Na, itt van. Jó. Na. Nem lesz meg a vízön felgyorsulni van. Na, látszunk, hogy ügyesünk el.
Balázs found the sand. Laurent found the top.
Térképen rajta vagyunk?
We were riding on the piste now, proper off-road. It was good to see other teams on the route, fellow travellers sharing the same adventure. Let's just hope Balázs doesn't find another surprise bump out here. Soon the track joined the main road again, and suddenly the Atlantic Ocean appeared beside us. A beautiful coastal road, desert on one side, endless ocean on the other. Off-road section was brutal. We crashed more than once. A mirror snapped off, the phone holder disappeared somewhere in the sand, and even the spare fuel tank didn't survive the ride. Our engines were working hard too. The coolant started boiling more than once in the heat. In Turgid, we finally managed to buy some fuel from a local. Not cheap,
but at that point we didn't have much choice. Next stop, Nouakchott, where our small team quickly turned into fuel hunters. Through the Mauritanian off-road sections we travelled together: Belage, Bana, Sándor, Aria and Amina. Aria and Amina were driving land cruisers, which made life a lot easier for us. Bana carried the spare tyres and Aria helped with our gear. We're very grateful for that. Later we crossed the Dioling National Park along the Senegal River. There we spotted warthogs and huge pelicans. It was still off-road, but for a while at least we were actually enjoying it. In the end we reached St. Louis, where we stayed near the ocean. For the first time in a while we could finally take a day to rest and watch the fishing boats from the hotel. The next day, we headed towards Tambacounda. On the way, we passed through Touba, the spiritual centre of Senegal and one of the most important Sufi holy cities. Getting through it was an adventure on its own. From a European point of view, it was complete chaos. Cars, motorbikes, trucks, street vendors coming from every direction. Left, right, in front of us, sometimes it even felt like from above. Somehow everyone was moving, and somehow nobody was crashing. But along the road we also saw another side of Africa. Huge vultures feeding on carcasses by the roadside. A wild and unforgettable sight. The road ahead was never quiet. In many villages, children ran out to greet us as we passed by. Some waved, some chased the bikes, stretching out their hands as if they were trying to catch us. For a moment, Laurent looked less like a traveller and more like a movie star riding through town. And then came the traffic. At one point we passed a truck that looked like it had already lived 3 different lives. The sides were held together with ropes, a wheelbarrow was hanging off the side, and the roof was completely packed with people. Somehow it was still moving down the road at full speed. In Africa, it seems every vehicle has its own creative engineering. But the real moment came when an old double-decker bus appeared behind us. It was flying down the road like a racing machine, swerving left, swerving right, overtaking everything in sight. For a second, we weren't sure if we were watching a bus or a very large, very enthusiastic rally driver. The bus pushed through the traffic like nothing could stop it. Even we had to move aside and let it pass. After all that chaos, we finally pulled over for a short break. Laurent and Balaz found something that looked like a lemon-like fruit from a roadside stall. We still weren't completely sure what it was, but after a long ride under the African sun, it tasted pretty good. The roads kept getting worse. Deep holes, broken asphalt, and dust everywhere. Traffic rules seemed more like friendly suggestions. No traffic lights, no clear lanes, just buses, taxis, motorbikes, and people moving in every direction. Somehow, it all worked. Somehow nobody stopped moving. For us, it felt like riding through complete chaos. After hours on those roads, we finally stopped for a short break. And then, out of nowhere, something unexpected happened. A group of local musicians appeared beside us. They started playing, singing, and smiling as if it was the most natural thing in the world. Different instruments, rhythms we had never heard before, and suddenly the chaos of the road turned into music. Moments like that remind you why journeys like this are so special.
African beer.
Okay.
African beer.
Happy birthday to Aria.
Happy birthday to you. Viva Africa.
As we moved deeper into Sierra Leone, the scenery began to change again. Wide rivers appeared along the road, cutting through the green landscape. The roads were never quiet. Markets spilled out onto the streets, with stalls, people, and motorbikes everywhere. Riding through it felt less like traffic and more like navigating a moving crowd. Then suddenly the road climbed onto a huge bridge, high above the river with an incredible view. Along the way we spotted something unusual, an old Buick from the Budapest Bamako rally.
Reméljük, hogy így darabot számolják ezeket.
At one point, we reached the Songo toll gate. We followed the cars thinking this must be the way. Turns out it wasn't. A police officer tried to explain in his own way that we were in the wrong lane. So we turned around, then turned again, weaving left and right, trying to figure it out. Only later did we realize motorbikes don't even have to pay. We just had to find the right way through. As we reached Freetown, something started to change. Along the roadside, familiar vehicles began to appear, cars and bikes from the rally, all gathering in one place. We stopped. Handshakes, smiles, fist bumps, no words needed. Everyone knew what it took to get here. Days of exhaustion, heat, breakdowns, crashes and endless kilometres. And now, somehow, we all made it. Then the final ride began. Police escort in front, engines running, the whole group moving together through the city. This wasn't just another road anymore. This was the finish. A strange mix of emotions, pride, relief, and the feeling that something unforgettable had just come to an end. After reaching the finish, the journey wasn't over yet. The way home took us 12 days. We followed almost the same route back, this time without the off-road sections. It gave us a chance to slow down and finally enjoy the surroundings. We stopped by the baobab trees, spent more time along the way, and saw even more wildlife, especially warthogs out in the open. There were still challenges. A sandstorm in Morocco, tough conditions, and a few more moments in the sand. But there were also good times, good food, good company, and moments we'll remember for a long time. In Tarifa, our paths separated. Arya and Amina stayed behind in Spain, while we continued on towards the ferry from Santander.
And just like that, we made it home. But this wasn't the end. Balázs is already planning to return, this time in the race category. And Laurent would come back again too, to see more, to go further. Because once you've experienced a journey like this, it never really leaves you.
Let's say something.
Well, we had the best experience, the best in my lifetime. It was a challenge and I loved every second of it. I found very good friends, Adam, Lori, and hopefully we will be friends for life. And Amina once again proved that she is my best half.
Thank you, thank you. Because I'm going to miss you guys so much.
Thank you.
We were together for almost a month.
Okay. Buddy,
Cheers.
that's it. It's so short.
Yeah, it's not done for us yet.
Yes. I will tell more later.
Standing there by the ocean, it's hard to believe how far we've come. Days that felt endless, heat, crashes, breakdowns, and roads that never seemed to end. There were moments when we were completely exhausted, moments when things didn't go as planned. But those are the moments you remember the most. The people we met, the help we gave and received, the small moments, food, laughter, riding side by side. It was never just about getting to the finish. It was about pushing through one day at a time and realizing somewhere along the way that this journey changes you.